The Atrebates were a Belgic tribe of Gaul and Britain before the Roman conquests. However, it is possible that the Atrebates were a family of rulers, as there is no evidence for a major migration from Belgium to England. Name of the tribe. Cognate with Old Irish Atrebate meaning inhabitant. Atrebates comes from Proto-Celtic **Atrebates, inhabitants. The Celtic root is treb, building, home, which has been linked to the root of English thorp, village. Edith Whiteman suggested that their name may be intended to mean the people of the earth, to contrast with that of the neighbouring coastal Morini, people of the sea. The Atrebates in Gaul. The Gaulish Atrebates lived in or around Modène-Artois in northern France. Their capital, Nemetosena, is now the city of Arras, Pas-de-Calais. The place name Arras is the result of a phonetic evolution from Atrebates and replaced the original name in the late Empire. According to a well-known tradition in Gaul, the name Artois is the result of a different phonetic evolution from Atrebates. In 57 BC, they were part of a Belgic military alliance in response to Julius Caesar's conquests elsewhere in Gaul, contributing 15,000 men. Caesar took this build-up as a threat and marched against it, but the Belgae had the advantage of position, and the result was a standoff. When no battle was forthcoming, the Belgic alliance broke up, determining to gather to defend whichever tribe Caesar attacked. Caesar subsequently marched against several tribes and achieved their submission. The Atrebates then joined with the Nervii and Viromandur and attacked Caesar at the Battle of the Sabas, but were there defeated. After thus conquering the Atrebates, Caesar appointed one of their countrymen, Commius, as their king. Commius was involved in Caesar's two expeditions to Britain in 55 and 54 BC and negotiated the surrender of Cassivellornis. In return for his loyalty, he was also given authority over the Morini. However, he later turned against the Romans and joined in the revolt led by Vercingetorix in 52 BC. After Vercingetorix's defeat at the Siege of Alesia, Commius had further confrontations with the Romans, negotiated a truce with Mark Antony, and ended up fleeing to Britain with a group of followers. However, he appears to have retained some influence in Gaul. Coins of post-conquest date have been found stamped with his name paired with either Galmanos or Carcisios, who may have been his sons or regents. Ptolemy's 2nd century geography refers to the Atrebati living on the coast of Belgic Gaul, near the river Sequana, and names Metacum as one of their towns. The Atrebates in Britain. Commius soon established himself as king of the British Atrebates, a kingdom he may have founded. Their territory comprised modern Hampshire, West Sussex and Berkshire, centred on the capital Caliva Atrebatum. They were bordered to the north by the Dobunni and Catuvellorni, to the east by the Regnenses, and to the south by the Belgae. The settlement of the Atrebates in Britain was not a mass population movement. Archaeologist Barry Cunliffe argues that they seem to have comprised a series of indigenous tribes, possibly with some intrusive Belgic element. Given initial coherence by Commius, it is possible that the name Atrebates, as with many tribal names in this period, referred only to the ruling house or dynasty and not to an ethnic group. Commius and his followers, after arriving in Britain, may have established a power base and gradually expanded their sphere of influence, creating what was in effect a proto-state. However, during Caesar's first expedition to Britain in 55 BC, after the Roman cavalry had been unable to cross the Channel, Commius was able to provide a small group of horsemen from his people, suggesting that he may have already had kin in Britain at that time. After this time, the Atrebates were recognized as a client kingdom of Rome. Coins stamped with Commius's name were issued from Caliva from California, 30 BC to 20 BC. Some coins are stamped commios. Interpreting this as Commius, son of Commius, and considering the length of his apparent floor-root, some have concluded that there were two kings, father and son, of the same name. Three later kings of the British Atrebates name themselves on their coins as sons of Commius, Tincomarus, Epilus and Verica. Tincomarus seems to have ruled jointly with his father from about 25 BC until Commius's death in about 20 BC. After that, Tincomarus ruled the northern part of the kingdom from Caliva, while Epilus ruled the southern half from Noviomagus. Numismatic and other archaeological evidence suggests that Tincomarus took a more pro-Roman stance than his father, and John Creighton argues from the imagery on his coins that he was brought up as an obsis in Rome under Augustus. Augustus's Res Gesta mentions two British kings presenting themselves to him as supplicants, probably California, 07 AD. The passage is damaged, but one is probably Tincomarus. It appears Tincomarus was ousted by his brother, and from this point Epilus's coins are marked Rex, indicating that he was recognized as king by Rome. In about 15, Epilus was succeeded by Verica, but Verica's kingdom was being pressed by the expansion of the Cativellauni under Cunobelinus. Caliva fell to Cunobelinus's brother Epictetus by about 25. Verica regained some territory following Epictetus's death in about 35, but Cunobelinus's son Caraticus took over the campaign, and by the early 40s the Atrebates were conquered. Verica fled to Rome, giving the new emperor Claudius the pretext for the Roman conquest of Britain. After the Roman conquest, part of the Atrebates' lands were organized into the pro-Roman kingdom of the Regnenses under Tiberius Claudius Caegadiacubnus, who may have been Verica's son. The tribal territory was later organized as the Civitates of the Atrebates, Regnenses and possibly the Belgae. List of kings of the Atrebates. Commius, 57 c. 20 BC. Tincomarus, 20 BC, AD 7, son of Commius. Epilus, AD 8 to 15, brother of Tincomarus. Verica, 15 to 40, brother of Epilus.